Hello, Mother's Land community, and welcome to our channel. My name is Matthew. Please, if you don't mind, hit the subscribe button and like. Thank you very much in advance. Thank you. Today, we're going to talk about the wood stove. We are out here at some point, our goal is to be completely self-sufficient and off-grid. And so there are a few things we put in place. First of all, we cleared out we purchased 10 acres and cleared out a spot to put a home. And we wanted to uh, build, but during that time, and some of you may know this, that this particular time, the lumber prices skyrocketed and contractors didn't like that. And so they stopped building. So anyway, that's kind of a long story and that's another issue. But so what we did was we got a uh, modular home, manufactured home, and put it on the property and had a wood stove installed in it. So now before we dive into the wood stove, I want to talk a little bit about the stack on the outside. What I did about a month or so ago before we fired it up, I went up there and cleaned the stack out of the crib. So I was really curious to see how much it had built up, uh, especially since I followed everything to the letter as far as burning the wood, burning the moisture content, seasoned wood, all those different type things, and we'll get into that in a minute. But when I cleaned it out, there was only a handful, just a handful of buildup, and that was really great considering it's been over 3 years. Like I said, we didn't use it a whole lot, but we did use it in that over 3.5 year period. So now let's get into the wood stove. We have the Vermont Casting uh, model number 2115, the Intrepid. And this thing, it really, it puts it out. We moved from a 2,300 square foot home, which had gas. I do miss my gas, to a 1,400 square foot and put the wood stove in. We do have central heat and air, but we wanted to do the wood stove for, like I said earlier, about at some point being off grid. So now the first thing, well, not so much the first thing, but one of the things you really want to invest in is a moisture meter. And this is one of the first things I purchased. This is not the high end one, but it does work. And what you do, simple. The wood, all the wood that we use, what I would do is you want your wood, anything under 25% moisture, you can burn. But me, I'm that guy that, hey, I want better. So I would only, now if you can see, if you can see this, I saved one piece, but I have to go out here and cut some more. This piece is showing 8.2% moisture, which is perfect. Absolutely perfect. I try not to burn anything over 15%. You can, like I said, anything under 25 is fine. But I try to burn only everything under 15%. And if I can get it 10 or less, that's the route I want to take. So invest in a moisture meter, save you a lot of trouble. And on top of that, I mentioned hardwood. Try to only burn hardwood, seasoned wood, no pines. Softwoods, you can burn some, like a poplar, you can burn poplar, but the only thing with that is you just get a lot of ash. You don't get the coals that you get from hardwoods. That's why hardwoods are much better, because you want the coals, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that later. Now, the next thing, one of the other things you want to get, now this is a brush to clean the stack. And I had a hard time finding a nylon brush. I'm not sure why these stores, I'm not going to mention their name, but I went to both of them. One of the stores didn't have any at all. They sold the stacks, but they didn't have the cleaners. The other store did not have the nylon brushes. They only had metal. And I don't know about you, maybe someone can share this, but it seems to me that you don't want to use metal because it can scar up the inside, whereas this nylon brush does the same job, and I think maybe even better, and it doesn't scar the inside of your stack up. So invest in a nylon brush. And also, you have to purchase the rods to go with it. There is a short clip on the stack cleaning that I'll make sure to get that out there for you. So now let's get into it. You also want to get a thermostat to put on here. Sometimes you can put two on, have one on the stack, not on the stove, and also have one above. You don't have to have two, but just another precaution, you can do that. And we also invested in a fan. Now, this fan is heat conductive, meaning that when the stove reaches a certain temperature, a certain heat level, it will automatically kick on, and it's just to help circulate that heat around the house. And the next thing is to make sure that you have plenty of kindling, and also the same concept, make sure it's all dried out. Today we're going to show you. Now, we've been burning this for a couple of days, and it's pretty dirty. So what I want to show you today is some things that we do. Don't forget the wood, the cleaning, the fan. You don't have to get a fan, but it does help. And the thermostat. Now, this particular stove has a where you can control the heat. You can buy, and they do that by the airflow. So you can give it more airflow, which will cause it to heat up more, or it will still burn. You can cut the airflow down, and the fire just burns more efficiently. You don't get a lot of ash. It still gets plenty of hot, and it reaches this what I call the comfort zone right here, where it says optimal in the yellow. When it gets to that point, then that's when I will turn the damper closed. When you turn the damper closed, that means it's burning efficiently. Damper open, if you're not careful, it could get too hot. So once you get to this point up here on your thermostat, close the damper, and I guarantee you it will burn efficiently. Now, the other thing here is cleaning the stove out, because at some point that's going to have to be done. If you will notice that here on the glass, you notice the buildup on the glass. I'm going to show you how to clean that, to get that glass. I like my glass to be clean whenever I start a new fire. I'm going to show you how to clean that without any chemicals. And when you light a fire, you don't want to use any harmful chemicals like fire starters or anything like that. The way that you light the stove, you get a ball of newspaper, just one sheet of newspaper, put it in your stove, light it, close the door. You don't have to close it completely, leave it cracked. That way you get the heat flow going up the stack, so that when you do start your fire, hey, it's kind of heated up going this way, so all the smoke will go. When you get ready to light it, all the smoke will go up. So now your next sheet of newspaper you put in, you put that sheet of newspaper in, and you start putting your kindling on top of it, and you light it. It catches on. Then you get your medium sizes. It catches on. You continue with the medium size. What you want to get is a good thick coal bed, and then you start adding your bigger pieces. Once they catch on, you close your damper, and you're good to go. Now, cleaning the stove out. As you can see, you can get right to it. Now, I'm going to bring you a little closer because I want you to see this. As you can see, down in here, see those coals? That's what you want to keep. Now, what I do is I just gently rake the ash down in the bottom. Just the ash. If you notice, all my coals will stay up in the burn tray. That's what you want, because you want to keep those coals. You don't want to throw those out, because when you light your next fire, those coals will catch on and help that stove to heat up even more. Now, all your ash comes down here, and to be honest, this particular the efficiency of this stove is so great that for 2 days, this is all the ash that we've accumulated and what's in there. and what's in there will fit in here. That is efficiency. So I'll finish doing that later, but what I want to show you is cleaning. Just bear with me a minute. Cleaning the glass. Now, there are chemicals that you can buy, but you don't need to. Watch this. Because we did look at chemicals, but we discovered, my wife did, and you will meet her on the next video, that if you just take a damp rag and just go in here and get some of the ash, just stay with me, everyone. I'm just going to show you this, probably not do the whole thing, but show you. Now, you saw, I mean, you saw it. There was a really bad buildup on there, and you'll get that you using your wood stove. That's normal, nothing out of the ordinary. But I just want to show you how easy it is to clean with the ash that you're using. Now, I took a damp cloth, wiped that with the ash. Now I'm going to take another cloth. Now normally I would dampen this just a little, but for now I'm going to use it dry just to show you. It works a little bit better if it's dampened slightly, but I'm going to show you what it does with just a dry one. Now you watch this. Like I said, I'm only doing about half of it, just to show you how great it does. The very ash that you're using, save your money. Save your money. Don't buy any chemicals. And just simply do this. Now, you see that? Do you see that? Like I said, I'm only going to do half of it. I'll finish doing this job to get it prepped for our next burn. The temperatures are kind of coming up a bit, but we're supposed to be down in the teens coming up either tonight or tomorrow night. So we'll be firing it up again. So I hope all those tips help you a lot regarding the wood stove. The Vermont casting, to be honest, they make great efficiency stove, and I'm sure there are more out there, but this one is really doing its job. We also added the floor pad and the guards, just for safety measures, and they work perfectly. Now these you can drill into your wall, screw them in, but what I did, I just, because you want to have ventilation, I just lifted them up off of the floor and just lean them up against the wall, and they do the same thing. We don't have any little kids to worry about. Our grandchildren do visit, but we don't have any little kids to worry about to knock them over, so they're doing just fine like they are right now. So with that being said, that is all for now. And once again, thank you for subscribing. And like I said, the next video, hopefully you will meet my wife, Tanya. And thank you for visiting Mother's Land. Thank you, Mother's Land community.